Okay guys, so I kind of made a boo-boo. I didn't hit record when I filled up. So when it's full, it's reserve to reserve. It is 153 miles. I reset the trip A, which is 10 miles. So I've already done 10 miles, okay? And I will put it on how much I've got left, and we will go from there. Apologies for that, guys. Completely my fault, and I hope you can forgive me. So welcome guys. I made a mistake. I made a big boo-boo, but I'm over it now. So what I want to talk to you guys today about is the fuel consumption, the fuel economy, or whatever you want to call it. Get asked this quite a bit as well, and yeah, I mean it's an interesting one really, because there's quite a few variables. I mean, I'm going to do it on this bike, so we'll talk about the bike very quickly. It has got a stage 1, 2 brothers, 2-into-1 exhaust with a Screaming Eagle high flow air filter, and it's been tuned up nicely. So there is going to be a slight difference from a stock bike. Also the weight, well, I calculate that although I've lost weight with the exhaust, I've also got extra features on here which probably, you know, with the crash bars and the seat and the fairing and everything else, it's going to be roughly the same sort of weight as the stock bike, I would say, roughly. I weigh about 80 kgs, 80 kilos. I don't know what that is in stones. I should do, because from the UK I think it's about 12.5 to 13 stone. Not sure though. Oh, I've got to turn it. Okay. And oh, I didn't realise I was going up here. Okay. And I'm 5'8", so the drag is going to be slightly less than if I was, say, 6 foot. I'm wearing a full face helmet, and I've got a wind fairing which hopefully should aid with aerodynamics. So with all that in mind, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna vary very slightly. We're probably talking only a couple of miles difference between this bike and your bike and whatever, you know. I'm using a 95 RON fuel, which I filled right up to the top as much as I could. It started at 152 miles to empty, and I've already done 10 miles on the clock, as you know from the intro. Let's talk about my riding. I would say I'm sort of a semi-aggressive rider. You know, I'm not scraping the pegs on every corner, but at the same time I'm not sort of cruising around pretending I'm on a touring bike, you know. So yeah, I'd say, you know, I'd like to open her up quite a bit. I like to do a lot of overtaking, and you know, I like to put the bike through its paces. So I'm going to do some country riding, you know, sort of bends and turns. I'm going to do some highway stuff, and I will do some through the town sort of stuff. So it's going to be a sort of average of everything, which will give us a better reading than if I was just on the highway the whole time, you know. So yeah, sit back and enjoy the ride, guys, because it's going to probably take me a couple of days to do this, and I'll show you some of the nice features of my ride while I'm out. So yeah, sit back and relax. Well guys, it's on 11 miles to go and there is nothing left in the tank according to the dial, so I think we've better find ourselves a fuel station. I know there's one about a mile away from here. I don't want to risk running dry because I don't know if I trust these digital displays to be exactly accurate or not, but we will see. I know in my car it goes from sort of 30 miles to all of a sudden 0, so I don't want that to happen to me now and then I've got no juice, so we will go and get some fuel. Ooh, low. It says low now. Wow, we are low. It's gonna be close. Don't like the old low display because that doesn't really tell me anything other than the fact that, mate, you are going to run out of fuel if you don't find somewhere very, very soon. So whew, we've made it. I don't mind pushing the bike from here, although I want to. Oh, don't tell me you ain't got any fuel. Please don't tell me you got any fuel. Sketchy, sketchy, sketchy. Right guys, moment of truth. I will see how much fuel this tank takes, and we'll figure out how much is left, I should say, and we'll know exactly how much I've used, and yeah, we'll see what the trip A is. Okay, so it's on low R. Let's just see what trip. Oh, we won't even. There we go. Trip A is 130 miles and 7. 130 miles and 7. So there you go, guys. 130 miles or thereabouts to empty. I reckon once that low light come on, there was about 10. It reckons there was about 10 in the tank. And then the low light come on, and I reckon there was probably about 5 left in there. I was kind of expecting it to start flashing, slapping me in the face, saying, "Yo, dude, you need to get me some fuel pretty quick," you know. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I didn't really fancy pushing my bike the last sort of leg of the journey. But yeah, I mean, you know, this has got a stage 1 on it. So it is going to obviously drink a little bit more than your standard, your stock. And obviously it depends on the weight of the bike, like I said in the beginning, the weight of the bike, how heavy I am, the drag of me, the drag that's reduced from this. I mean, there's so many little factors that are going to get you an extra sort of mile or so. It's not going to be a lot, but it is going to make a slight difference. And yeah, you know, like I said, I've tried to incorporate some highway stuff and some sort of, you know, slow street riding sort of stuff through town and all that. Done a few little bendies and little country roads, bit of overtaking and a bit of chilling out, a bit of everything really. You know, if you were on the highway solidly, you probably would get around 150 out of it. You know, I did notice as I kind of got off the highway and sort of started, you know, changing through the gears and revving it up and down, it would go up or down slightly, that counter. You know, only by a couple of miles, but obviously over time that would probably just stay where it is, sort of thing. But as an average sort of ride, everyday sort of rider, and you know, a little bit aggressive here and there, you're looking at about 130 miles out your tank. I don't know what that is in kilometers. But yeah, 130 miles out of one tank with a stage 1. If you've got a stock bike, you're probably looking at a more like 150 to 180, depending on the ride you do, you know. So guys, I hope that's been interesting. I know a lot of you have asked me to do this video, so that's for you guys. And I've enjoyed doing this one. Actually, it's been great to have a couple days on the bike. I've spent most of yesterday riding around, which I don't get to do that often, and yeah, it's been a good experience. Been to see a bit of the countryside as well, you know. And I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, guys. And I hope you've enjoyed the countryside that I live in. And I hope everything's hunky-dory with you. And anyway, whatever, I'm sort of lost for words now. So guys, I'm going to say it. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that like button, share it with your friends. And as always, I will catch you next time. Street Bopper Vlogger. Woo!